Last time on Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice.
Above you see an orb. It's an orbit. It is descending. It comes down and stops like an inch above the ground, and then 4 tiny, powerful legs come out and rest silently on the ground. A little golden ramp descends. Down the ramp first walks. He is in a pure white suit. He wears a white top hat, and he strolls down the ramp and says, "Why, hello there, folks."
Welcome to Opulence.
Some movement at the top of the hatch draws your attention, and a shape comes out of the ship.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Tombleson as Slippy.
Well, if it isn't the... Sorry, I'm working right now. Nice to see you, Carissa.
It's good to see you too, Tombleson.
2 things happen simultaneously. There is a shout of protest from one corner of the room. And Slippy, you're on lookout, and you see the bookshelf begin opening up. It's empty behind it. And you folks only have a moment to react to nothing before you know the sound at this point because you've done it enough times. It's the sound of a plasma shot occurring across the room.
So I use my one hold to redirect the attack from the thing to myself. I dive in front of the plasma bolt.
And the crowd goes wild. They begin running all sorts of directions. They huddle up against the elevator door now, which starts groaning. People are like pushing up against this elevator door,
And there are just bullets hitting the back of the glass window. You look behind you, and there is a beat-up hover car whipping down the streets after you. One of these robots that you've seen atop its hood. It holds its arm up, and it's firing these shots at the back of your car.
Do you think I'd be able to disrupt the thrusters of that car? The commander robots?
I think the car, it's keeping up with you guys, losing a little bit of speed on your car as the smoke is increasing. And for a second, there is a loud grinding snap in the engine as it jolts backward and forward. The nose drops to the ground, and the whole thing flips up behind it and on top of the robot that was on the hood as it is tumbling down the street behind you.
See, you do have a reservation at the breakfast spot, and I believe that reservation should be fulfilled, and it should be fulfilled by the member of our party who is least likely to be surprised.
Oh, that's me.
Well, I would prefer breakfast with my guest Carissa, but I can understand the need for safety. We can have a good morning with you cooking for me. And she says, I think that Slippy and I could have a wonderful breakfast together.
And now we return to our adventure.
The night goes by fine. You folks awake in the morning to begin your plan. So again, the split up is going to be Slippy dressed as Mr. Blood going on to a breakfast with Carissa, with BBW as a bodyguard. Carl, Cookie staying behind at the Peacock to attend to the real Mr. Blood and his breakfast wishes in his room. So let's see. Let's start at the meetup in the morning when you folks arrive at Blood's room to begin plans for the day. Blood opens the door and lets the 4 of you into the room. Carissa is lounged out on a long couch in a little living space facing the door. And she says, "Why, good morning, you 4. Last night certainly was a little hectic." And Mr. Blood says, see if I can get his voice back. What? Why, yes, I think that that was close. Okay, hold on. Why, yes, it was a rather lively evening. I do hope that you folks can stay on your toes today, as might be quite a bit more exciting than last night.
Yes, don't worry. I can't be surprised. See, try me.
Me neither. Don't have toes.
I believe you. I believe you, son. You jumped in front of a bullet last night. How are you feeling?
Not good, but good enough to have dinner? No, breakfast. Got it. I promise I'm feeling good.
Are you sure?
Hey, God. Mr. Blood, since I'm going to be impersonating you, could we maybe have a few key phrases or maybe some sort of thing that you like to say that I could use to make sure that I'm a passable ribbit?
I don't know. I am a hard gentleman to mimic.
Oh, I don't know. I am a hard gentleman to mimic. How was that?
I don't know if I like that. Maybe if you just wait till I'm sort of gone to do a me voice, that might be a little better.
Okay, I don't know how close it'll sound, but I'll do that.
I find that having a catchphrase makes you predictable, and I like to keep them guessing. So if
Is
you
that
can,
your catchphrase? That's
no, son.
what I always say.
Well, maybe I'll have a catchphrase after this. So last night when we had come in from the little chase there from the Grand Casino here to the Peacock, you folks were talking about a plan for this morning, and I find myself to be mighty hungry. What are we getting up to this morning?
Lay it on him, Cookmaster.
All right. Well, the plan this morning is for, according to Mr. Blood's schedule, he is due to eat a hearty brunch at a fine restaurant in the penthouse restaurant of the next building over. Totally blanked on what the name of the building is, but our disguised Mr. Blood will be eating there with Carissa to support the disguise. Meanwhile, I will be preparing a lovely selection of breakfast foods that will be enjoyed by the real Mr. Blood here in our comfortable and spacious hotel room. Hopefully, with Slippy's inability to be surprised and BBW's general technical know-how, we should be able to apprehend one of these nefarious robots and perhaps extract some information out of them as to who specifically is targeting our employer. Any questions or objections or potential additions or thoughts?
Sounds like we've got it done. Or down.
I guess that it might be fine if me and my ward spent a breakfast apart. Are you okay with that, dearie? I think a breakfast with Tombleson might be rather nice.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I'm sure this is going to be a rather fun day for us all then. And they prep to head out. Carissa comes out in a nice day dress. It has sunflowers all over it. I don't know. Another wide-brimmed white lacy hat. And Mr. Blood is in his trademark white suit with the little blood droplets. But now the blood droplets are on the back of the tux. While they're getting changed, Tombleson, Slippy, I don't need to call you Tombleson. Do you change, or what are you wearing out to this breakfast?
I think really loudly, gee, I really wish I had a suit that was like Mr. Blood's suits that he always wears.
Oh yeah, you're hiding as Mr. Blood. Before they go to get dressed, Mr. Blood calls a midnight bellhop to the room and hands him the suit, one of the two suits he was wearing last night, undamaged, of course, and he
shaped.
Yeah, he hands it to the blood. He hands it to the bellhop and says, "Would you mind making this to my bodyguard specifications?" And the midnight bellhop looks you up and down, and then by the time they're done getting changed, returns with the suit and it is tailored and taken in to fit the limber frog-like body of Slippy S. Tombleson. And now you have a clean fitted white tuxedo with red droplets over the heart of the vest. Yes.
Great, right where I want them to shoot me.
Now
Slippy's
you'll
got drip now.
Yeah, now no one will ever know if you get shot right there. And Carissa and Slippy get ready to head on out to the penthouse of the next building over, which
Penthouse of the building, the next building over.
is called it's a fine dining restaurant tower called the Peacock's Feather, but colloquially known as just the Feather. And you have the penthouse floor, as Cookie has stated. It's a very thin, tall building. It doesn't go up as high as the Peacock itself, but it is very thin. There's really only, every floor has enough for a private kitchen and a table that could fit no more than 8, and the elevator basically. And you folks get in the elevator and take it all the way up to the penthouse, which is the largest, of course, of the rooms, and big wide table, quite a larger personal kitchen, and it is staffed with a various slew of folks from all over. They're eagerly waiting your arrival as you pull up in the Uber. We're just in the Uber Black from the Peacock, which is one building over.
Slippy gets out of the vehicle after, of course, the Midnight Bellhop opens his door. And then he goes around to the other side of the limo, and the Uber Black, and he opens it up and he says, well, come along, dearie. We have some breakfast to eat now.
And Carissa,
he offers his arm to Carissa.
Perfect.
Carissa gets out of
Perfect.
the car and laces her arm in with yours, and you folks walk into the restaurant. BBW, what's your sort of play on all this? You're kind of hanging out as a bodyguard. How do you go about doing just that?
I will like to stay near the two as almost like their pet robot. So I'll be crawling on all fours, and I'm gonna wear my special bow tie and party hat.
Is it all
I'm there.
fours or is it 4 out of 6s?
It's all fours for sure.
I'm crawling on all 6.
Crawling on 2/3.
Adorable, and staying close as like a pet robot. I enjoy this. And you folks come into the bottom floor is like a little lobby. There's a few cushy leather chairs in the corners with some tables, and then a desk that looks much like a hotel reception desk. Off to one side, the elevator doors, and you come in, and the receptionist clicks a button, runs out from behind the counter and clicks a button on the elevator, and it opens up. Inside, black marble and gold railings and trimming as you step on into the elevator, and it begins taking you up. Carl and
Yeehaw, I love
Cookie,
this trimming.
you two are in the room with Mr. Blood, and Mr. Blood turns to the two of you and says, well, what is gonna be for breakfast? And he's rubbing his stomach.
Cookie makes a quick check of the room to make sure there's a midnight bellhop there to relay instructions, but she says a wide selection of breakfast specialties. There will be, of course, an origami omelet, as well as a selection of breakfast meats and vehicles for their delivery. We have biscuits, savory scones, as well as a breakfast pizza for those of the more unorthodox mind. For beverages, we have 3 options of citrus juice, as well as cranberry, and stim beverage. It's not coffee, but it's better. And of course, there will be other things too. And she just sort of hopes that the bellhop will kind of read her mind and bring the necessary ingredients. And she's just going to make whatever she can, as much as she can.
Whatever the bellhop brings.
Yep, whatever the bellhop brings, she's going to make breakfast. Hopefully lots of breakfast, because that is what she said. I think there's going to be a cook roll in here. No guarantees that Blood's going to eat it, but I think I'm going to make the cook roll be the breakfast pizza, because that was the idea that made me most excited. So that's what she's going to put the most effort into.
It's a staple in my household.
Breakfast pizza. Yeah, it's got eggs.
It depends on what the midnight bellhops
But
bring
not
that it's
those
got on it.
eggs. Not the ones you're thinking of. Other eggs.
Space eggs.
Space eggs. Yes. Spegs. Yeah. Speg pizza with meats.
Delicious. So it sounds like to me for this, you've set up a pretty good... Okay, I know. Why don't you give me a parlay to see how much ingredients they're going to bring you? There is a midnight bellhop and he's listening. Just give me a parlay roll to see if you do well here, then you won't have to use any ingredients in your cooking adventures for today, and then you can do a cook with no ingredients, which is great for you.
That'll be an 8. 8 to parlay roll.
Okay. Carl, what are you doing while Cookie is prepping the kitchen for making a large breakfast? How are you going about bodyguarding here?
What's the area look like? I remember the area like around the private gambling den. We went into a lot of detail here, but is this just a room like in a hallway? Is it a suite that's a whole floor?
Mr. Blood Suite is the largest of the suites on this floor. Carissa's suite only slightly smaller. It is the presidential suite of the Peacock. It has a rather large, wide area as you come in, half of which is like living space. There is a marble fireplace on one side with cushy leather seating surrounding it. There is a personal kitchen off in one corner and a bar next to that kitchen. Quite a lot of standing space. There's rugs, there's, art and maybe a halberd over a door on a wall. There is a set of stairs on the wall opposing the door that you come into this on that lead up to an open plan sort of second area with a bed and a wardrobe and a bathroom up there as well. There's a bathroom downstairs as well. On the same
window situation.
The window with that staircase is, or the wall with that staircase is virtually entirely window. It is like a sort of a black iron staircase that cuts up to not cut most of your vision from looking out this beautiful, huge open wall window. And on the other side of that window is a balcony where the door is kind of near the entrance to the stairs to go up to that open planned second area. And this balcony just spans the width of the room. It goes out quite a bit. There's a couple benches out there to sit on and a very nice grill out there as well.
I'm going to hang out on the balcony, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to leave something small because it doesn't need to be big because I can squeeze through any fucking space I want. I'm going to leave something like a brick or like a piece of wood or something just to hold the door open.
Something small so you could just kind of dive through that without opening the door.
Just in case someone tries to shut it.
No, I really like that. What's your kind of presence like up here? Are you scanning? What's your method of guarding up here? Just so I can keep in my mind as we go.
I think Carl's going to basically lay down on and camouflage on the bench, try to blend in and look around with his scope and whatnot.
Cool.
And
so it's
try
a
to
bench
keep an
with
eye
a
out
gun.
for things.
Yeah, why don't you why don't you give me a
Damn
discern
straight.
realities for your time up here on the
That's convincing security to me.
Discern realities is gonna state that you gotta ask questions as it always does. I want to come up with a way that is, because there's times in which you don't want to ask questions. I know that questions always advance what we have built and are helpful, but there's times in which you may not just want to ask a question. You just kind of want to be on the lookout. And I want
Also, like, these are generic questions. There might be more that we come up with that are more applicable to the campaign or something, kind of thing.
There are. I think we could slightly widen. I want to avoid slightly or widening them too much because there's lots of different abilities that people have that act as more questions, such as like.
It doesn't.
Oh, you were
it's a 10.
focusing. That's great. That's great. I mean, we'll just do that's a perfect success. If you want the 3 questions, you can take them, or I can just use that as like a really good lookout roll.
My goal is just to kind of keep an eye out and when something goes wrong, be ready, rather than look for something currently going wrong.
Okay, I think the defend roll is actually pretty good for this. Like, it gives you a hold to be able to like use one of those actions to act upon. And now you have technically 3 holds. So you could like jump in front of a bullet if it's coming. You could act fast. I don't know what all of those are off the top of my head, but if those options sound good to you, we can call it a defend roll. Otherwise, maybe we could use defy danger is the catch-all. We could just call like a basic perception check with no questions, no nothing else on top of it, a like defy danger wisdom, since it's a catch-all. So it's kind of it's up to you how you want that to sit, as a defend with 3 holds, discern with 3 questions, or a good defy danger.
I'm gonna take that as a defend.
Okay,
because that's kind of my main goal here.
I like that. It fits in with what we have as well. So you have 3 holds. If something happens and you want to spend one, just shout it out and we will have that happen. But you are camouflaging with the bench. Cookie, as Carl, you see Carl throw a brick in the door and start situating on the balcony. The midnight bellhop in the room with you folks opens the door, and another 2 midnight bellhops come in with silver platters, and they place them on the counter, and you pick them up, and there's ingredients of all kinds. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I think to make this happen, you'll have to spend a single common ingredient to get the pizza. You realize they haven't brought you any cheese, but you have a little bit of that Herc cheese left. You find in the bottom of your bag, I guess.
Okay. Then I'm gonna get all the food rolling. That's a 9. A 9 on cooking. All chosen effects with a complication is the result of the cook roll. The chosen effects for the pizza are going to be refreshing and fortifying. Everybody who eats this meal gets +1 on their next roll, and anyone who eats this gets a +1 ongoing on a stat of your choice. Oh, and a -1 ongoing on another stat of your choice.
Mm-hmm. Make him easier to kill. Take his constitution down.
We're gonna go Dex up, Charisma down. As far as the stats go. Other than that, we've got our space chopsticks out and ready to fold the omelet. We're cooking some meats. We've got some puff pastry full of a different spinach and egg mixture for tasty puff pastry things. I don't know, and there's other breakfast foods going. Cookie is currently, while all of this is happening, Cookie is serving stim beverage for the room.
One last question: is this in? Do you serve breakfast in courses, or as a large table of food? You know what I mean, like everything all at once, or like in courses?
Both, I would say. The courses being like coffee service, food, dessert, but food is going to be served all at once. All of the food is we're planning to get all of that out all at the same time for breakfast service, and then dessert will be like a pomegranate gel thing that's sitting in the fridge.
Pomegranate gel thing.
It's got gold leaf on it for the fancy.
As a frog person, that sounds delicious.
Cookie is cooking this breakfast, having a great time in the kitchen with all this food brought, and the variety of things that she's able to prepare this morning. Carl's on the lookout. The morning is nice and calm. We scan over and down slightly into the top of the feather as the elevator opens up, and Carissa and Slippy step out of the elevator into a wide square room. The table is lavish and filled with all like platters of all sizes. Many have domes over them, but as you enter, there are probably about 10 waiters that begin undoming and stacking the domes rather quickly. It's very impressive how quick and quiet they're stacking these metal domes. And when they're all done, you see a table of food. Just like as you step out of the elevator, this table of food is basically presented, and some chairs are pulled out next to one another, looking out a window and over the city. You can see just the corner of the building of the Peacock on the right side of that window, and the breakfast is prepared for you two.
Yeehaw! Let's dig in. Come along, my ward.
I
Or if you don't say scrumdiddlyumptious, I'm gonna be upset.
would love to. And
This looks scrumdiddlyumptious.
Slippy, what is the food that Slippy goes for on the table? You can,
Slippy is he's feeling a combination of things right now. He is nervous. He is awkward. He is not very hungry. So he's probably just got like whatever looks the most extravagant, but is also the smallest.
Mm-hmm.
So like if there's like a little is like a mini biscuit, and then there's a little dollop of gravy on top of that, and then it's got some gold leaf on that. Slippy's got like 2 of those. And like a very small scoop of eggs, and then just like a cup of ketchup. He didn't know what to do. He got nervous.
Carissa, as always, as you obviously remember so well, has piled her plate so high with just something of everything on the table. She's gonna try one of everything on the table. It seems like it's gonna be all in the same plate before she starts eating. So there's quite a pile of food on her plate. And as she's just fucking housing it and you're nipping at your biscuit, BBW, what's your approach to this room? You've come in off the elevator. I only said Slippy and Carissa as, they're the focus of attention, but you're here, obviously. You're right behind them as pet robot. What's your play in this room?
I won't be sitting at the table. I'll be sitting like right next to them, or not on a chair. I'm gonna try to sneakily steal some food off of Carissa's plate. Just kind of let me help you with that.
You need that toasted?
You need that toasty? No, I'll just eat it.
I'll just eat it.
You need that toasted, eats it.
It's really good. It's really good bread you've pulled off her plate.
Tastes like really good bread.
I'm sure that it will be. And she takes another roll off the thing. She says, "Would you mind not taking the food off my plate?"
Would you mind?
Yeah, BBW, you could take food off of my plate because I'm so rich that I don't.
She slaps her hand. She slaps her hand away. You can give me a defy danger if you really want to try to get that roll.
BBW wants
or experience.
Or experience. Yeah. So defy danger dexterity.
That's a 9.
Worst case scenario, you get a roll.
She tries to grab the roll at the same time you do to try to pull it away from you, and you guys just rip the roll in half. And she's like, "Okay, I would really prefer if you allow me to just eat my breakfast in peace."
Yeah, Carissa hates it when people mess with her food. I would know that as Mr. Blood.
Yes, dear. It goes a little quiet for a moment as you folks are picking at she's housing hers and you're picking at your plate, and it turns from quiet into rather awkward silence as Carissa says, "Well, it's been quite a while, huh, Slippy?"
Who's Slippy? My dear bodyguard? Is that who you're talking about?
It's been, you're right. How should we go about this? It's been...
Hey,
it's been quite a long
Carissa.
time since we've gotten to share a breakfast, hasn't it, Mr. Blood?
Yes, I almost always eat by myself because I'm very rich.
Yes, that does seem to make it difficult to get a meal together. How have you been? Truly, and she stops housing her food.
Oh, this is a serious thing.
She slaps your hand away, BBW.
I've been pretty good, been doing space business and not thinking about anything in particular. Yeah.
I do hope the space business has been treating you well, and that you're able to keep
Honestly,
those.
this is the most times I've been shot on a mission. Ha 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 ha. A space business mission.
Of course, it's the mission where I show up, huh?
That's usually the way
Okay.
it goes.
Oh, well, okay.
I'm just speaking the facts as I see them, Carissa.
As you folks eat, as Carissa eats food, it just is replenished by servers coming up and down the elevators, and it is this breakfast. It's that encounter. And the camera awkwardly pans up, and we find ourselves at the end of Cookie cooking for Blood, and things begin to get presented. He's really enjoyed his stem beverages. Asked you to make, of course, yet another cup or pitcher or carafe of it, having finished it faster than most generally finish your beverages. He seems to really enjoy the things that you present to him.
Does he seem to really trust the things that he's getting presented?
Yeah, I honestly,
he's not inspecting anything before he eats it.
No. I mean, he isn't, because you folks threw your lives down on the line, some more literally than others, the previous night, and he is trusting. He didn't really check the blood cocktail like he probably should have, but you know, he's trusting, especially today. He enjoyed the stem beverage. Cookie begins laying the food out on the table, and the breakfast is good. He even offers, he says, why don't you bring on in that octopus fella, and why don't we all share a nice breakfast? I like to have guests at my breakfast. I don't often eat alone.
I'm lonely. Please eat with me.
He says to Cookie.
All right, my octopus friend, as you put it, hasn't left your side since you started eating. And Cookie sets down a cup of stim beverage in front of the couch where Carl's been camouflaged this whole time.
Carl's at least camouflaged out on the balcony, but you can still try to
balcony bench.
You can still try to pull this off, though. I was just thinking, because Carl can easily overhear this. If Carl wants, camouflage can stealth on in up to that beverage and pretend like Carl was.
I can come over and grab that. What? Dex defy danger?
Yeah.
8.
There is a shimmering of air as Carl crosses the floor. I think Cookie watches it, but Mr. Blood is staring at the cup of stem beverage the whole time, and like and Carl shimmers into appearance there and goes, oh, that was a mighty fine trick. I didn't know you were there the whole time. I would have never guessed.
Keep them watch, sir.
Well, I do appreciate that, but why don't you come on over here and join us for breakfast?
Because if I'm over here, then nobody's watching the balcony.
I guess that's rather fair, but things seem quiet this morning. Why don't we share a nice breakfast? Get some energy for the day.
That's all right. I'll eat on the go after we start moving. I'll watch while you eat. Don't worry.
I respect that. I respect that quite a lot. You're on the job. I get it. And he
professional and all that.
The midnight bellhop approaches and makes a plate for Mr. Blood out of the things on the table in front of Mr. Blood, and it looks at Cookie, and you know that it's curious. If you want any food, it'll make you a plate.
No. As the cook, I'm more than capable of making my own plate of food. Thank you, sir.
Just trying to be romantic, damn.
You're real cute, but no, I can make my own food. If you want me to like you more, do you have any information about the assassins? You seem to have eyes and ears everywhere. Would you know something that we might not, with your sort of ubiquity around this area, this planet?
It shakes its head and bows and returns to its spot on the wall in waiting. You folks are enjoying the beginning of this breakfast. Carl sips the stem beverage, and I imagine returning to the balcony with the stem beverage to keep watch. Carl, As you step onto the balcony, a shape catches your eye.
Bullet hits you.
Bullet hits you.
Nice.
A shape catches your eye. It is up and to the left, and you peek up real quick as this black shape descends from the clouds very quickly. It flies down and slams into the top of the feather next door to you. Slippy and BBW, you feel a crash and a rumble from above your head, and immediately the waiters kind of start panicking. Like there's several things dropped, and they begin looking around frightenedly. What do the two of you do? Carissa says, "Oh, what was that?"
Carissa, you're probably gonna want to get under the table.
Yeah, sounds good. And she crawls right under the table. She's like, "You got him, Tombleson."
And Slippy says, "Sure thing."
You
Ward,"
got him,
and he
Mr.
pulls out
Blood.
his gun. He pulls out his gun.
Corrects herself.
Wait, what
loudly.
happened? I just got there.
What do the two of you do? Slippy has gotten Carissa under the table.
Slippy points at one of the midnight bellhops and he says, "Get security on the line. We need to talk to them right now."
Of course. And he begins clicking frantically at a walkie-talkie on his waist, but every channel he goes to is static.
Fuck, I've expected this. This doesn't surprise me, but it does upset me. We need to move everyone into a more enclosed space because there are too many windows here. Let's get to moving, everybody. Let's take the staircase. I'm very rich and important. Let's go.
Yes, of course, sir. There is an emergency exit staircase right over here, and he presses on the wall, and like a panel on the wall slides over to reveal your average, like, not well maintained back staircase that's kind of dirty and shit on the way down. And it says, "Please, right this way, sir." And Ka'arl, you're able to watch all this. It's pretty fast for you. This ship comes down and slams into the building, and you can see from up here, you can see two shapes getting out of the pod, and they come to the edge of the building and just sort of step over the side and lean down and pierce into the wall and begin crawling down the wall to the window. Slippy, BBW, you see these two shapes come down, just piercing into the window, cracking as they each step goes, and as they enter the center of this window, one of them begins, you see this little laser spit out from his chest and begins slicing a hole in the window.
Slippy is gonna yell, "Yeehaw, you dumb robot!" And then I'm going to roll a volley. And what I'm aiming for, right? So the way that I'm understanding this is that this robot with his legs pinned into the window, and he's drilling a circle in the window. I'm gonna try and shoot his feet through the window with my volley roll here. That is a 10. So I get a clean shot. So I'm going to roll my D8. That is 8 foot damage.
8 foot damage. Your bullet, which so it's like imagine like BBW where like it's not like 2 feet 2 arms, it's 4 feet kind of situation on this wall. Are you going for one of the upper feats or the lower feats?
Probably a lower foot. That makes more sense to me.
A lower foots. You blast out the foot. You see the plasma bullet go right through the glass. You see the leg like blast into pieces. Carl, you can see this from that. You see a laser, slice through the window, and it's a little bit of looks like spray because you don't have like a close vision on it. But from your point of view, Slippy, it's nuts and bolts flying outwards and down onto the city, unfortunately. But the window where the whole robot is sort of stationed shatters outward, and that robot goes kind of flying out. The other one, though, the cracking doesn't shatter the whole window. It just shatters that, in between where its legs had pierced and cracked it. The other one is able to.
And then, is he coming through?
Yeah, he's gonna like do a cool, weird side flip and land at the edge of the window.
Slipster Blood is going to look at BBW now, and he's going to say, "They're after me, Mr. Robot. We need to split up, and you need to protect my ward." And then he's going to wink, and then he's going to start sprinting down the stairs.
So I'm going to set up a perimeter of security at the front of the door of the staircase. And then Well, Ward, I didn't know that was your name, Ward, but we're gonna go this way, the other way. We're gonna go upstairs.
Up the stairs is to the roof. The next floor up is roof. Yeah? Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Just wanted to make sure. And for your security, that is a spell, right? So you want to use machines, roll plus intelligence for your
Indeed.
security spell.
The operation runs, but one following happens. Machines drain power. The operation scrambles machines, or I draw unwelcome attention.
It runs. You trigger this in front of the door to the stairwell. The panel had been slid over to reveal this whole stairwell, and you ran this line back and forth to know if someone followed you into the stairwell. But you can feel after it finishes, you feel that what is your security layer? What is this? How does this take place on your body? Is it like a little thing that scans the ground or a room and sets something up? How does this sort of present on BBW?
It's something that pops out of his foot. It's a little mini birthday cake.
Great.
Little thing that will pop out, and it scans perimeter.
Okay. I'd
Like a
imagine.
motion sensor.
I'd imagine that there's little like motion lines coming on. If you could see in infrared, you would see all these little like lines crisscrossing. In this specific case, the door. And you grab Carissa out from under the table and begin running up the stairs. As you do that, though, you feel that little machine where the birthday cakes are produced in your ankle. You can feel it short circuit, and you know that feeling by now. That feeling means that you won't be able to use security specifically until you long rest. You can feel that one has been drained. It needs to recharge. Carl Cookie, I didn't give you an immediate opportunity to respond to this happening because as this has happened, Carl, you saw that stuff I definitely said you saw. But
you see Slippy make a good shot at the window.
After that pod slams into the top of the feather and you watch those robots begin climbing down, it might even make sense that Carl begins pointing, his gun at them as they're right there and you can see them. As you go to point your gun at them,
sure. I assumed they were well out of range.
Oh no, they're we're talking like next door tower. It's 10 floors max, shorter than the Peacock. So you can kind of see over there. You can see people. You can see the figures moving around, right? You saw the laser bullet exit the window, and you've got a sniper rifle. I could even think that you're watching through this, and you have an opportunity to shoot. But like as you're looking through, there is a crash behind you and up, and Cookie, the building above you shakes, and Mr. Blood immediately puts down his fork and he looks up frightenedly. And you can see over the top of the building as well, coming down the side, there are 3 robots coming down the side of the Peacock now from the roof where this pod has slammed into.
They've got the disposable income to launch tandem assassinations. Oh no.
I'd like to shoot at the 3 on mine.
Yeah, that tracks. Oh, and you have shoot everybody. That's big bonus.
You can shoot at both of them, can't you?
There's nothing that like gives me.
You could shoot at all
like,
4 robots.
I can defend things from an attack from them. I can't. There's nothing about my defense holds that benefit me here.
Okay. You have though your volley that hits everyone. You could volley these 3 and also the robot on the other building that you can kind of see, crawling in that window. If you want to fire off 4 shots. I like that. I'm gonna
go for it.
Yeah, you're watching them through your scope as they crawl down and you see that Slippy bullet come through and immediately the crash behind you, you pull the trigger and look up and pull the trigger 3 more times as you see him coming over the building.
I miss quite badly. That's a 4, 5, 6 with Dex.
Yikes. Well, you can mark experience. You do this. BBW, as you're setting up the perimeter on this room, you see a laser bullet rip in the window and just take out one of the waiters. The you folks inside, Cookie.
The assassins.
The assassins did it. Cookie, you and Mr. Blood can see Carl pivot and look up the building and fire off some more shots. Carl, you can see that you shatter windows around them, and they are coming crawling down the wall towards Carl. They seem thicker than most of the ones last night. You're reminiscent that they are the one similar to the one on the hood that seemed pretty well armored. Yes, Cookie, what is your sort of response to this situation?
Quick, somebody throw Cookie a gun.
I think Cookie's response is to cover Mr. Blood and sort of escort him to a bolt hole, and then sort of hang out in the doorway of the bolt hole to sort of act as a meat shield. I'd rather not get shot. Maybe
Wouldn't we all?
maybe a frying pan shield. I don't know. Cookie doesn't have a gun, and just has like a kitchen knife. So she's gonna hang out in the doorway of the bolt hole and keep an eye out to see if there's anything she can do to help Carl. But prime directive is protect the employer. So we're gonna do this.
What is bolt hole?
A bolt hole is like a panic room. You call it a bolt hole because you bolt to it. You sprint there in times of emergency.
Hole for bolting, got it.
You bolt your way to the bolt hole, and then you hide in there and hope that whatever is bad either goes away or can't get into your special safe room.
I like that because you bolt to it. You were all shown while you're looking around this room. Yes, Carl did the checks along the walls. You were also shown by the Midnight Bellhops at some point that specific book on the bookshelf next to the fireplace. You pull that book, and the whole fireplace, ground of the fireplace and all, raises up and into the ceiling, revealing like a 10 by 10 okay stocked steel metal room. It has some computer screens to look out into the room. It doesn't seem like there's much else in here, but you were informed that there is a way that you can get up and down only activated from the front desk. So there is like a little elevator, but to pull it down from here, you will have to hit a button at the front desk. But the book changes, and you know of all the books that it could be. The book changes every time the door closes to throw him for a loop. But you immediately run there, and Mr. Blood gets in, and he's like, please protect me. We'll see you on the other side. As the door goes to close, and Cookie, you stand in front of the fireplace. Carl, there are robots coming down the wall. Slippy, you're sprinting down the staircase.
Correct.
BBW, your alarm
Hoping they chase me.
triggers. You hear a little beep in your alarm, and you stop as you've reached the door to the roof here. And you can hear footsteps descending this staircase. What do you do?
Good.
They seem to be
I've
chasing
saved
Slippy
everyone.
and not you and Carissa.
I'm gonna ask Carissa. Have you ever been in some kind of situation where you've been split up from Mr. Blood?
No, to be honest with you, most of the outings we go on are a lot less active than this one. We go to events. We go to balls and to dances. We don't get attacked by assassins all that often while we are together. So I'd imagine that he'd go into the safe room if they are in the Peacock still. If they are out of the Peacock, there could be a number of safe rooms over the city he could use, but I don't know. He's not here with us, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right, Slippy.
Oh, he's not?
Do you want to continue on to the roof, or do you want to follow back down the stairs now that you know he's chasing
Thinking
down?
we're gonna have to go back downstairs.
You're going to begin following the robot down the stairs now.
Let's go.
All right. You and Carissa is going to remain like a staircase above you as you go down. That just feels like the safest. She's like peeking in when you get down a few stairs, you wave her on, and she comes down a little bit. And Slippy, you're running down. You're a few floors down. You have a number of floors to go if you're going to take them all this way. But you can hear some metallic clanking in the concrete stairs behind you.
Does it sound like it's gaining on me or not?
At first, it sounds like it's running down the steps. You might even think to yourself, this could be, maybe BBW has gotten out ahead of it and is running down the stairs too. But then you hear like a whoosh and then a clang and a whoosh and a clang. And you look up and you can see the robot jumping down the flights of stairs in between the bars to the next level and down the flights of stairs. So now it has begun gaining on you.
So it's like jumping across, kind of?
Yeah.
So like it's exposing itself and then
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shoot another volley, but here's what I'm doing. I am basically sprinting until I'm getting the rhythm of it, jumping back and forth. I'm sprinting until I hear it clang, and then I'm gonna look up and point my gun, shoot, and then I'm gonna start sprinting again, and then I'm gonna shoot.
Okay, give me that volley roll.
Oh, that's a 4 total with all the pluses. So we're gonna go ahead and get another XP.
So you're listening for this rhythm, and it's getting louder as it's getting jumping down floor by floor.
And I'm getting more afraid.
Clangs, and you spin, and unfortunately, where it's jumping out now is directly down in front of you. Your bullet whizzes right past it through the air, and it lands with a clang in front of you on the stairs, cutting off your exit down. Looking at it, it looks like one of the basic robots from last night. A little weaker than the armored one that you guys fought when you were in the car. The basic silver bots, and it points an arm at you, and a beam of energy.
Start running upstairs.
A beam of energy is going to fly at your back. Then give me a defy danger if you'd like, or you can make it something else if you want to just take that shot and then do it.
I'm gonna defy danger dex, and I rolled a 8. Stumble, hesitate, or flinch. You offer me a worse outcome, hard bargain, or ugly choice.
The only way that this bullet is coming right at your back, and this stairwell is rather thin. The only way that you can think to jump out of the way is to copy the robot's, tactic, and that is to jump through sort of the middle area and down to the grating lower.
Yeah, I'll try that. Why not?
You do.
I'm only 100 floors up? 200 floors up?
Mm-hmm. You just dodge this and kind of jump, slamming into the wall on the other side. Now down a little bit more, so now you're back into the original position where it's about a flight above you. BBW, you're looking down, and you're running down the stairs, and you can see a few floors below you. Slippy dive out and across the gap that I guess spans about 100 floors down, frighteningly, and just kind of cuts back into a safe area. Carl, you're here. You've just missed these. One of the robots leaps off the wall and is falling through the air at you, arms outstretched, while the other two continue their descent safely.
I'd like to step inside and wait for him to land and then shoot him.
All right, I think that's a defy danger to get inside fast enough. I'll give you a +1 because you've talked about, you prepped this area to get inside quickly.
8 if it's dex, that's a 10.
Yeah, I don't see why it couldn't be dexterity. You dive through the door, your tentacles just slipping in that crack as the robot slams into the balcony. The other two, you can see them now from inside, their arms just reaching the top of the windows, crawling down. Cookie, Carl has just dove into the room, and you see that. What do the two of you do? You can make that volley roll if you would like now, Carl.
You've got something lined up, go for it. Otherwise, I'll shoot the motherfucker.
Yeah, shoot him. I can't say that I can think of. I can't say I can think of anything that would assist you with that.
How about a 9? You're muted.
If there's any way that Cookie can aid, I know that you just said you couldn't, but it's a free 10
Actually,
for Carl if Carl just rolled a 9,
so
if possible.
My prep is still on my sheet because, as we talked about, I used it, but remember we took it back because we ended up having to undo that whole action.
I feel like I'm remembering that as well.
Like I spent it, but then we realized that the thing I was trying to do wasn't actually something we could do, so we just kind of like took a couple steps back.
Yeah, I'm remembering. Yeah. I don't remember the exact action, but I also haven't fully listened to the episode. Yeah, so you do have your hold if you do want to spend it. Gabe said he also has something, and I'm curious because before he said he had nothing. So what do you have?
I have. Carl, did you eat any of the food?
I had your what was it called? The drink. I just had the drink.
You had the stim coffee. Did you eat any of the pizza?
No, I don't think Carl came inside after that. I think he probably stayed on the bench.
All right. Well, then I have nothing for you.
Sorry, fam. Thank you.
Mr.
for
Blood
trying.
gets a +1 to Dex and a +1 to the first roll that he tries
I
to
don't
make.
think NPCs roll.
But nothing for you. You maybe Cookie ate some pizza.
You can make your own plate.
Yeah, I'm.
Capable of.
Cookie definitely made her own plate, especially after one of the bellhops tried to make one for her. So
And
Cookie's going to
see?
try to aid by distracting the robot, giving Carl sort of a window to safely shoot this thing. She's just going to basically pull out whatever she's got in her bag, maybe some measuring cups or something, and just kind of fling them out into the space. Just sort of something happening to distract the robot. So let's call that dexterity, I guess.
Or intelligence.
Oh, or intelligence.
Because you're thinking on your feet.
It's more intelligent than what I would have done. I would have said, I'm Mr. Blood.
We'll call it intelligence then. That's a flat 11. Best roll I've had in weeks. Plus 2 for a 13. A 13 measuring cup fling. Get distracted, robot.
Carl, you point your gun at this robot. It seems to be coming right at you, but it is distracted by the sound of several. I'd imagine that Cookie has a package of metallic measuring cups that all kind of stick together, and when Cookie throws them, they spread out and clang in all parts of the space and area around you, and that does in fact cause the robot to look over. Its sensors seemingly overwhelmed for a moment by the large amount of energy, and that gives you an open, Carl, bring you up to a 10, giving you that +1 you needed.
Fuck yes.
For Chivali.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and shoot him for 5 damage.
You shoot this robot. It continues its progress towards you at a running pace and tackles you right in the middle, wrapping its arms around you and pinning you to the ground. And you feel a tightening, like a mechanical tightening around your body as it like a vice grip. It's squishing your body, which for anyone else might be a problem, but for Carl is not particularly a problem. Yep, exactly. The other two robots, you hear 2 sets of metallic clampings into the balcony outside, and you peer over, and there are 2 more robots that have positioned themselves on the balcony, and they're walking towards the door. BBW, Slippy, you are in this stairwell. I'll say that BBW is up on the highest floor. I guess Carissa up a floor above him looking down. A floor below that is the robot that has its attention fully focused on Mr. Blood Slippy, who has dove over and is now in the lowest section of this floor. Still, like you said, about 99 floors to go.
Slippy is going to continue to run down the staircase, and he is now going to use his bag of tricks thingy. So he reaches into his sack that he had comfortably concealed underneath his Mr. Blood outfit, and he rolls a 7, which means you get to add a complication to the next thing I pull out, and it's the last thing.
And it's the last thing? I thought it was Aura is the last thing.
Oh, or yes, you're right. It is, or it's the last thing. So it will not be the last thing. You can add a complication.
Yeah, let's call that for sure a complication to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna pull out lube, just a bottle of lube. I'm just gonna lube up the stairs behind me as I'm running down the stairs.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. That was a good zoom on Gabe's face. This is a good zoom on Gabe's face.
That was good timing.
Oh man, thank you, auto zoom.
And somebody's gonna say, why is this in here?
As you're running down the stairs, you hear, I don't know, some slipping behind you and metallic clanging as it tries to rewrite itself. You're able to make up quite a bit of space between you, about a full floor, before it's back to its steady running down the stairs behind you. BBW, it is running down the stairs behind Slippy. In fact, Slippy, you are ducking up and down and like in and out as it's like running around, firing in through the open space down at you with one of its laser guns. BBW, what's up?
Yo,
Help.
I'm working on it. I'm close behind, right?
Yeah. You're about a floor above this happening as they're running down, and you're running down, I'd imagine still.
Yeah.
I hope you heard the lubed robot. You don't get lubed yourself.
Oh,
Yeah, you even see it slip up in front of you on the stairs as it tries to right itself.
interesting. BBW would never, personally. I had an idea for something, but I decided to go with something else.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep running down the staircase. If I can attempt to grapple the robot that's trying to go get the Slippy with one of my amazing hands.
I like that. I mean, there's a perfect moment as it slips up on this lube and tries to right itself. You can sort of launch yourself at it and grab it. Why don't you give me, I think we're back to a defy dexterity, probably strength here as you're trying to grapple it.
Sounds good. That's an 8.
It's an 8. Okay. You can either slip up on the lube as well, like you said you would never. Following it, but you will like tackle it. You'll like slip up on the lube and careen into it, and you guys will kind of fall down the stairs. Or you can tackle it without slipping on the lube in midair, but it will attempt to throw you off.
Okay, we're gonna have to go for the risk. We're gonna go midair.
Okay, I'd like you to give me another defy danger. This one is going to be either strength or dexterity. You can pick.
Okay, I'll do dexterity because I have +1. That's a 10.
Huge.
That's a good one to get a 10 on. You dive, and this thing trying to right itself spins and locks arms with you, and then goes to just whip you into the middle area and have you fall. But you know, like we've said, you're a central body with these 4 appendages that aren't necessarily like arms or legs. They're like 4 almost bottom. They're almost 4 legs, right? They're not even or 4 arms. Either way, this is what you use to support yourself when you walk in general. It tries to fling you off, but your first leg catches the railing, and then you kind of almost cartwheel yourself sideways, spinning around and down the stairs to land in front of it. Without going out and into the dangerous 100-story drop. You land on the staircase. You can hear Slippy running down the stairs in front of you. Slippy, the bullets have stopped firing at you from behind.
Great. I am going to take my position, I guess sort of like a ready to action. I'm going to take position what I was trying to do earlier. I'm going to wait for it to jump across and try and shoot at it when it does that. That's what Slippy's going to do.
Okay, so you sort of stop running down and just sort of hole up in a corner waiting for it to do this jump. It is
I'm just trying to get an angle on it.
It is only, I would say, like 6 stairs above BBW. It's staring down at BBW. One of its arms, BBW, you can see as you're staring it down. Its hand kind of folds down into its arm, and a long silver blade folds out of the other side, making it now a long bladed arm. And the other one, you know, at this point, has a hole in the palm that shoots basic laser bullets at you, much similar to Slippy's laser pistol. And it's facing you down. It begins to bear down on you with its bladed arm. What do you do?
This sounds like a job for the special energy shield.
So
Super
yeah, your
special
energy shield,
one.
I like that. I like that you're communicating with it. Your energy shield so what this would be basically a defy danger constitution, just like withstanding it, right? Because your energy shield is technically always on you, but you making this action to, like, you know, actively tell your energy shield we're about to, you know, do this thing, I think is ideal for the situation we set up. We're trying to use it correctly. But I think this would be a
shield strength.
defy danger constitution just to withstand the blade.
Divert power to shields.
Well, that's a solid 8.
It's an 8. You can you feel your energy shield kick up as if it's responding to you. I'll say that it's quick, right? It seems to almost overcharge and fire off a stronger version of an energy shield, but it's fast and in a wave. So either it can hit that during the wave and be disabled for a small amount of time, or it will miss the wave and you'll just take the damage as if you didn't have energy shield, and it'll be good for future hits.
Yeah, I missed the part where there was a choice.
Okay, so sorry. The choice is that this attack hits the energy shield and kind of discharges it for a brief moment, which would be for us for like an in-game amount of time. You just won't have an energy shield because it's recharging, or it'll miss that energy shield and you'll just take the damage as you would have. But the energy shield is good for all future attacks. It just overcharged because you kind of encouraged it this time, I guess.
Oh, okay, I see. The first option.
The first option. Okay, yeah. I mean, it does its job, right? You say it's time to shine, buddy, and the you feel it fire up over you, like you feel almost a shell appear around you as this blade hits you, and all of that, you feel pressure discharges back into the energy shield, and you feel it fizzle out for a brief moment. You can still feel a connection to it. It's on. It's just, you know, it needs a brief moment to recharge, but it beeps at you as if it did its job, and you don't take any damage from that. The blade just kind of deflects off of you. Yeah, you two are in this staircase. Slippy is in waiting, ready to fire if it jumps again. BBW, your energy shield is depleted for the moment, but you took no damage. Arl Cookie. There's one robot inside, two right on the other side of the glass door you can see coming inside. The first is taking a little bit.
I can shoot through glass.
You sure can.
I'd like to shoot at all three of them.
All right, give me that volley. You're keeping track of all of your ammo as well?
Yes, I am.
Perfect.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
That's 8 plus 2, 10. So that's just roll damage, right? 8 damage.
8 damage across the board. Your 3 bullets hit the first one that you have already shot in the chest. Oh, wait. As we set this up, you are currently pinned to the ground, right? You're in that vice grip. We said you could slip out, but we haven't gotten to that point quite yet.
Yeah, right.
The robot has just tackled you. So how do you want to go about getting out of well, you are vice gripped. So how do you want to go about getting out of that before you do your shots? Or if Cookie wants to try to get you out of that.
Like slide out.
Oh.
Like I have no bones or muscle. As long as anything's smaller than my beak, I can just like loop right through that. I'm an octopus.
I mean, you can. I think, like I said, if this was anyone else, there would have been a thing, but we've set this up that you being in that position is not actually bad for you. So you just sort of slip out and rearrange. You shoot the robot on the ground that has just tackled you, and your bullet pierces the back of it, and it splays out and doesn't keep moving. The other two take the bullets, boom, boom, in both, their chests. Maybe one glances off the side of its head and tears some of that Iranian metal away, revealing the mechanics beneath, but they are continuing to advance on Ka'arl. One has its hands have been replaced by these 2 long blades, and they're beginning to swing at you, and the other actually is pointing a hand over at Cookie. What do you do, Cookie?
Pointing a hand like pointing a gun at?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've seen this before. We know what their gun
How big?
looks like.
How big is the bulge hole?
The hole itself is about the size of your average door frame to get into the room. The room itself is about 10 by 10 metal. There's one shelf with a few, boxed dried goods on them and some TV screens. But it is covered by a large bookshelf. You probably know which book to pull to reopen it, but it is currently closed behind Mr. Blood.
Then I think I want to defy some danger. I think if the bookshelf is closed behind me, then I don't have any reason to be standing where I'm at. So I should be of more use. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to defy danger, dexterity, I guess, to sort of dive towards the robot. The goal is to grapple this robot. But for the moment, I think I just have to avoid getting shot so I can get within grappling range.
I agree.
So defy danger. Okay, dexterity -1. That's a 7.
You go to dive, and I think instantly you can see this energy beginning to discharge from its palm, and you know that either if you dive right at it, you think you could make that roll and get up to it, but you're defo gonna get shot by that bullet, or you can dive to the side and avoid the bullet entirely and come up with a new approach to this robot. But I mean, of course, it's going to continue approaching you.
There's no reason for me to get shot for no reason. So I'm going to dive to the side, and I'll just approach this robot still uninjured and see if I can grapple him later. But at least he's distracted.
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy grapple. It's much harder to grapple things once you're injured.
This is true. This is true. The bullet grazes, just blasts sort of into the fireplace, removing a chunk of marble, but it still shows more marble behind. It's not like it's been like blown open and you see the door. It just removes a chunk of marble from the fireplace, and you roll into a little crouch position and review the two of you. I mean, one robot, as like I said, approaching Carl, is pretty close up on Carl now with long blades, and the other is approaching Cookie. One long blade out and the other pointed at you with a hole in its hand, ready to fire again. Back to Slippy and BBW. The robot actually has stopped moving, and it looks at BBW, and then it looks over the side of the thing where it imagines Slippy has been, or Mr. Blood has been running. And BBW, you see this robot jump, and it lands like on the wall, and its arms clamp into the wall, and then it kicks off the wall and flips back into that space and begins to fall down. What would you do during this time?
I thought the robot was grappled.
Yeah, is this a different robot?
No, so BBW did jump at it to grapple it, but because of the initial grapple was a failure, BBW was able to stay up on the staircase by avoiding with the dexterity that he did, but he got thrown off. So the robot was the highest up on the staircase, but it has now jumped to the wall and then leapt off the wall, and to give itself some extra height to begin falling down this shaft, seemingly looking for Mr. Blood or doing something else. We're not 100% sure, but...
Well, I mean, if I see it, I'll shoot at it. I don't know if I see it.
I was giving BBW the split sort of bullet time, and then we would fall into your prepared action.
Well, BBW is perplexed by how smooth that was.
Yeah, it's nimble.
That was quite the performance. And BBW just watches it go down. Whoa.
All right, Slippy, pull me that volley. I'll give you +1 because you're prepared. You were like aiming at the spot. You know it's gonna come.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the +1.
Jesus. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 +5. Holy cow.
No, I rolled 5 on one dice and then 2 on the other dice.
I was
and
just,
then 2 for my dex. Yeah,
it's like, where did all these bonuses come from?
7 damage.
7 damage on a 10. So here's what happens. Slippy, this thing is falling through the air. It's about a floor above you. You stopped a couple floors down and got into a corner to peek up and wait for it. It's a couple floors below you as it begins its descent, and your bullet hits it, and it stops its beautiful sort of swan dive that it had created. It begins to sort of flop and tumble in the air. And BBW, you kind of, I mean, you didn't give up your turn, but you quote unquote gave up your turn to watch it fall. So I'll also give you a +1 to this. Is Slippy. You do this, you were part of this. You see it, Slippy, your bullet hits it, and then as it spins around once, you see a little crack in its chassis, and you see that ignite with energy. And I want both of you to give me defy dangers, either strength, constitution, or dexterity. Unless you could think of a way out. If you could think of a way out of an explosion, totally fine, do it.
I'll do a 12 dexterity to avoid danger, sir.
I thought he was about to say, I'll do a cool backflip.
Blasted dead.
I'll do an uncool backflip in order to avoid this.
Blasted dead. Next, BBW, what do you
Shrug.
What do you defy danger with?
Oh goodness. I'm gonna try to do it with dexterity, try to kind of like, I don't know, it's an explosion. Maybe try to use my energy shield.
Okay, I'll allow you to try to use your energy shield, but I will not give you the +1 because it was shut down because you just used it. So if you do your, it would be defy danger constitution at normal.
Please, shield turn on, please.
And if it works, your shield will turn on. We have this kind of effect in place with your specific energy shield. So
Well, goodness, it's
Or
a
I
7.
guess, sorry, not Constitution,
Huh?
but Intelligence. So whatever your Intelligence bonus is
Intelligence.
different than your Constitution.
So I do have my modifier?
Yeah, only the Intelligence modifier.
Oh, 9 total then.
Huge difference. I mean, either way, it's a success. It's just like it's a big difference in modifier. You quickly, like you watch it careen down, and you see this spark in it as it spins towards you, in its descent, and you immediately know what that is. You can feel it in your bones, and you pick up your little shield and you begin pressing it so fast. Please turn on. Please, please, please turn on. And
I mean, you can feel it in your bolts.
I'll say it does. It does turn on. It'll give you your shield for what is to come. You two see it at the same time. Slippy, you dive to the side and press yourself up against the stairwell. Actually, no. I had a better idea than that. Slippy, you're at a floor. You turn around looking frantically, where can I go? And you see a button on the wall and you press it, and immediately that door slides open into the next, you're a few floors down, but it's another dining area. And you dive in there as the door is shutting behind you. There is an explosion in this stairwell, bigger than any I think we faced in this adventure so far. It's impactful. BBW, your shield comes up, and you can feel it take the brunt of the force of this damage. You, BBW, with your new shield in place, you can subtract that damage from this total. 4 damage. I don't know how much. I think you have 3 armor with your shield, BBW. Is that true?
I have 3 armor already, and the shielding adds plus.
The shielding does
1.
add +1, but you gave up your old energy shield for the new energy shield. So you still have 3 armor. So it brunts that. You take 1 damage as you're blasted up against the wall. You can feel your energy shield fizzle out, and now you do not have a connection with it. So it did work for that moment, but like it seems to be off. You can feel it's gonna require some repairs. But it protected you from that damage and from the previous damage. So far, it's a good shield. Just needing some repairs. This explosion, it rocks this staircase. Slippy, as you even dive through and the door is shutting, it blasts that panel clean off the wall and across the room. It rocks this whole place, and you can feel, as you folks rest and the smoke is like billowing into the room, the building is beginning to kind of shake a little bit. BBW, you sit up. There is rubble around you. You look up and you can see the staircase above you has collapsed down into this stair shaft. You don't see Carissa anywhere.
Carissa.
And as you look down, there's holes in the wall. There's cracks. You see a chunk fall out and down the building. The staircase below you is destroyed for several floors. And Carl, Cookie, you feel this thump. This bass thump from outside. It rips through your building. The whole building kind of quakes and then rights to normal. There's a robot coming for each of you. Carl, the first robot is coming at you, hands in the slice in motion coming down. Cookie, the other arm pointed at you, fires off a plasma bolt. What do the two of you do?
What was coming at me? The other one was going at Cookie.
Yeah, two-armed robot with its arms sort of whipping around in a slicer motion, kind of coming right at you. It's like a robotic grinder.
I'm gonna hold my stick out for where it's heading because it's a taser.
Yeah.
If its hand is heading for me, then I'll just shock it.
Yeah. Give me a defy danger. You can make it Dex or Intelligence. Yeah.
Definitely Dex. I am a Dextopus. That is a 9, a 10, 11.
Yeah, you nimbly dodge one of the blades and jam your taser spear right into the robot's arm. We just said it's like electric shock, right? Is there any sort of info on your sheet as to taser bonus? I don't know if we've put anything on about that.
I think it was just stunned for 1 turn. Is all. Like if I use it to add to an attack roll, then I can stun the enemy instead of causing damage. Otherwise, I add 1 damage.
Okay, I mean, stun the enemy instead of causing damage, right? You tap it with the end of the spear, and immediately its arms lock into place, and it sounds like it's grinding a little bit, and you can hear it powering up and powering down pretty quickly. It's like trying to reset itself. Cookie, this other robot is pointing its gun at you. It technically is charging another plasma bolt, similar to the last turn.
Well, then I'm going to tackle it before it can do that. Defy danger strength? Sure. Right? Defy danger strength. That's snake eyes. So I fail that roll even with a +2. That's a 4. Someone mark experience and probably get lasered.
You leap forward at this robot to tackle it, and its hand is in your face by the time you get up to it, and the energy bolt goes off, enveloping your head for 5 damage. You can subtract your shield from that, of course, as it sort of blasts you in the head. I'll say that you feel a bit concussed as you hit the ground at its feet. There is one stunned next to it that is sort of trying to right itself. This one is above Cookie. Its gun arm is now pointed down at Cookie, ready for the execute shot. I'm gonna keep it with you two because that was a quick roundabout. What do the two of you do with this situation? Carl, you got one stunned in front of you. You just stunned it. The other is about to execute shot Cookie on the ground.
I guess I'm gonna take a shot at both of them.
We're in close range, so -1 for your long range rifle. But
let's say 4, 5, 6, 5.
Oh no! 4, 5, 6, 5.
Well, goodbye, gang.
I think your gun jams. You go to click the first shot, and your gun jams. You know that this is gonna take you a good moment to unjam. You're gonna require you to fiddle with your stuff, and that you could do that in battle, but you're gonna be definitely putting yourself up to some attacks. But your gun just sort of clicks and jams. This robot in front of you. You can see it powers back up and it clicks a couple more times and then it rewrites itself and is ready to attack. The one is above Cookie. Cookie, what do you do? It's standing above you, charging its other shot, where it's sort of bullet time. These charging its shot is pulling the trigger basically, but we're in bullet time.
Can I grab its leg or appendage or something and just kind of yank its support out from under it so that it shoots at the ceiling or something? What would the defy danger on that be?
Yeah, probably defy danger strength. If you're able to use anything in your environment, you could make it one of the intelligence rolls. If you I'm gonna slip a ottoman, throw an ottoman at it and try to flip out its legs, I could call that intelligence. Because you're using the environment,
Cookie is in trouble because Cookie rolled a 4.
Oh no!
So that's a 6 total and another experience for Cookie. But let's get shot at.
3 points of damage to you. You feel zapped from above. Boom, blam, right into the. You reach up to try to grab its leg, and it just sort of kicks your hand away, and then you feel blast and concussed on the ground. Dazed. What's your health at? Just so we're aware, we're at 4. Cookie is in danger. Carl, your gun is jammed, and these robots are both prepared and ready. BBW, Slippy, what's up? This building, there's
Slippy's
smoke.
Slippy's gonna lean into the I guess shaft of where the staircase is, and Slippy's gonna lean up and he's gonna say, "Hey, BBW, Carissa, you guys good?"
Carissa?
You do not hear a response when you call for Carissa.
I think they're good. I'm good.
She's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna see if there's another way to get up. Slippy's gonna look for someone who works at the hotel.
So you peek around. The setup of these floors is that they're floor by floor sort of dining areas, and that their connection between the floors is straight up the staircase or the elevator, and there isn't hallways in between, right? There's just
there's a phone in here or something like that.
Oh, sure,
right?
sure. There could be a phone in here, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll call the front desk.
It is, you pick up the phone, you hit the button, and you can hear a static, but you hear on the other line, hello? Help.
Oh no.
This is Patrick.
It's like staticking in and out.
Slippy says, "Yes, I need help. I need help very bad up here on the higher floors in the dining room.
Stay Well, soon.
Well, we'll see. And then Slippy hangs up. Slippy is going to reach into his bag of items and pull out a grappling hook, maybe. It's an 8, so I do pull out a grappling hook. Go ahead. I like the complications.
I mean, yeah. So the complication from
keep the
last
complication
time,
train going.
the complication from last time would be you pull out. I mean, you know, you've always looked in your bag for a grappling hook. Something you reach into that bag often and say like, I want a grappling hook. What am I gonna pull? But no grappling hook comes out. You pull out
That makes sense.
You don't know where you've gotten this from, but it's folded up and it's the bottom of like a music stand. And you know you could, I mean, you stretch it out and it turns into that like 3-pronged metallic bottom. And you've got a rope, so you could use that as a grappling hook, but it is definitely the bottom of a music stand, and you don't know why it's in there.
Slippy's gonna say, "Hey, BBW, can you, I don't know, lean down and look at me?"
I'll lead down with just my head.
I do.
What's up?
Can you catch this? And I sort of have the bottom of the music stand that I've wrapped rope around it. Can you catch this so I can climb up?
Oh, I guess so.
Okay,
Hard-
and then I throw it up.
thought-
Yeah, I mean, because if BBW doesn't catch it, you just grab the rope and pull it back up and try again. You throw it
Yeah,
up and BBW catches it and locks it into the remaining rail and gives it a tug, and it seems very
And I tie
secure.
the other end. I tie the other end to remaining rail on my end.
I love it. There's like 2 floors of missing stairs in between the two of you, but you've connected them by a rope.
I'm gonna climb on up.
You climb on up. There's also chunks of stairs missing above here. There's another entrance to another dining room where you guys are standing, but you're missing some chunks of floor above you as well.
I guess we'll start making our way upstairs and start looking for Carissa, probably.
Yeah.
Would that be discern realities?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do I've got a bad feeling about this. Actually, you know what? Even better. I've got so many things on my character sheet that apply here. I'm actually gonna do hunt and track. So I'm gonna follow Carissa's trail. I'm gonna not do it well though, because I only rolled a 5. Actually, it's a 6, but it still doesn't matter. So I'm gonna follow a trail.
I think the hard part here is that there isn't really like a trail. You know that she was above BBW when this was sort of all going down. It's difficult getting now that you're on the same floor as BBW, is getting your music stand grappling hook to catch into these stairwells and get yourself pulled up. That is time consuming to get yourself up even just another floor to the next set of staircases that allows you to move up.
Multiple sets of staircases got blown up.
Yeah, this explosion seemed to rock this. It was a large explosion. It tore up.
Well, then I don't tie the other end to the one down there, so it's easier to get it, because we couldn't get it.
Oh, okay. I guess that's fair. Okay. Yeah. You pull it from its tie, and
that's fine. That takes us a while.
Yeah,
that
you're slowly making your way up to look for Carissa.
She was like right above me.
Don't die.
Yeah,
Carl, Cookie, you're on the ground, still in execution style.
Oh yeah.
Carl, the robot, has powered back up, and I'm gonna put this more. Let's flip this. Carl, the robot, takes one of its blades and stabs forward to try to pierce you.
Stabbing me?
Stabbing you.
This fuck. I'm going to try to duck and counter.
Duck and counter.
Mm-hmm. So
one of your moves?
I'd say Dex defy danger and then a hack and slash.
I love it. Because the bonus, about like, I don't love stacking like 3 people rolling discern realities, right? Because if we all roll incredibly, that's 9 questions that somehow we have to answer, and that gets like, how the fuck do we do this? But I don't mind this because it, as long as you're okay with 2 rolls, then you're opening yourself up to danger 2 times. But if you succeed, you get 2 cool things. So I'm definitely down.
That's a 9.
For
so
defy?
I do stumble, hesitate, or flinch on the defy danger. Worst outcome, bargain, or ugly choice. For ducking below it.
Let's give you
so that I can counter.
Let's give you
That's
a
my goal.
-1 then to your hack and slash because of your awful defy danger. Not awful, but
Or
Yo, that's a fucking 10. Okay. Plus my dex is 12 minus the 1 is 11. So
Okay. 11. Hack and slash. Is this Carl's first hack and slash roll? The combat officer?
no,
Okay.
I stabbed the guy in the foot and threw him off a roof.
Okay.
yeah.
That was Carl's first hack and slash roll. I made that exclamation already.
4.
Get new content, me. 4 damage. Not to hit. Yes, 4 damage. You swipe and with your dodge, I think this is well set up. You spin around, dodging the stab, and return a stab of your own, piercing the chassis of the armored robot straight through. It kind of slumps down onto your staff. Cookie, what do you do? You're not at a defy danger moment like you have been in the past, so I'll allow you to make an action rather than, defying the bullet. I kind of reversed it on this round.
I'm going to shoot the robot with my grappling hook.
Yes. Somewhere
Incredible.
Slippy is crying.
What will be the roll? What will be the roll
Volley.
for shooting volley? What is that? What's the stat on volley?
That-
Dexterity. That's a -1. All right. That's a 7.
You can either cause damage, your damage, whatever your damage is, and the grappling hook is not the. I mean, it's a hook and a rope. The rope is broken and it'll wind quickly. You know that when it doesn't have the tension, it winds quickly back into itself, and without the hook on it, it will be like brokenly jammed. It will require some good repair. Or you can miss and have it just grapple hook right through the window and out. You could reel it in later, but
I guess it has to be damage because we're trying to be effective out here in the world. So we're gonna roll damage. That's a 5. 5 grappling damage. Without the grappling, 5 just sort of grappling hook damage with no grappling.
5 rope damage.
sort of force damage as the grappling, the metallic, hook blasts into the chest of this robot. It gets into the chest of the robot and gets sort of jammed up as it's swinging down, and its downswing misses you and hits this rope, and it gets massively sort of tangled as you can hear these mechanical grinding noises from inside, and it is like powering up and powering down as it's trying to wrest this from you. And it's more that the rope just sort of breaks. Its blade is kind of nicked it a couple times, and it just sort of snaps. The robot takes a couple steps in like random directions and then crumbles. And you see a few sparks off of its chassis before it dies entirely. And the rope, like we had said before, instantly reels back into your gun. You feel like a kick. It's almost like when you're holding a tape measure and it comes in from super far, and you kind of let go and it spins in air for a second. It does that, but it kicks the gun out of your hand and across the floor. You can pick it up. Both robots are dead, so it's not really a problem, but it kicks it across the floor, and a quiet sort of overtakes the two of you. BBW and Slippy, the two of you are in the stairwell. The stairs damaged and broken both above you and below you for a few floors. You're standing where you're standing too, like the concrete around you is kind of cracked and little chips are falling as you take steps.
Slippy's gonna call up again. Hey, Carissa, it's me, Mr. Blood. You good?
You hear there's silence for a brief moment, and then you hear stone shift on stone and then kind of crumble to the ground above you, and you hear I'm up here. I'm fine.
That's good. We're coming up.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully more help will be on the way, but we're coming. We're on our way.
Okay. I'll be up here.
And then we're gonna keep. At least Slippy's gonna keep making his way up with the same method, I suppose, that we've perfected by now. Surely.
Yeah. You know the method. It takes you to a little bit of time, but you move up the next set of broken staircase and move up the stairs a little bit. The walls as you go up these stairs have caved in some places, just seems like from the shockwave that extended out from that explosion. And up a couple floors and sitting next to a pile of rubble, torn clothing, but otherwise seemingly fine, is Carissa. I mean, bruised and scraped, and she's sitting next to this pile of clothing, rubble. And she looks at the two of you and she says, that was, it seems that they did come after us after all. This distraction must have been a good one, huh?
Hey, nice dress. Let's
Okay.
get out of here.
All right.
still do red
Charming as always, Tombleson.
I've got the moves.
Would you mind helping me, robot?
Sure. Here you go.
Tombleson?
I saved you a red roll. One of the ones from breakfast.
She takes it and says, thanks.
And I'll help you up.
And you help her to her foot. It seems as if she has a damaged ankle. She's like not putting pressure on one of her feet. Yeah, you two are, I mean, the three of you are in a safer place now. You come into one of these rooms. You're a few floors below where your sort of private top floor penthouse room was, and you find some comfort in this room. The wall is mostly standing, and there aren't any servers in here. It doesn't seem like there was anyone up on this floor or any of the floors you've really been to so far up here, as you were eating. But you find comfort here in this room and a chance to relax. Quickly on over to Carl. Cookie, you're standing in this room. The robots are dead, all three.
I'm going to run to the balcony immediately and look through my scope and see if the other robots are dead. Because Carl has no idea what the situation in the other building is.
And I'm going to go to the bookshelf and wait for the all clear from Carl before I open the bolt hole and let Mr. Blood know that we're all clear.
Carl, you're looking out at the other building. There is smoke rising from the top few floors of this building. You can see a chunk of the wall blasted out, revealing a staircase on the other side. The building looks pretty damaged. I think you probably put two and two together that that was the boom you felt. That big explosion was probably whatever caused this big hole. You don't see any action. I don't even think Slippy and BBW and Carissa are up a few floors and just hiding out in one of the rooms. So you don't see them. You don't see any action.
Don't see any robots.
No. You see their pod, their metallic sort of black metal pod on the roof, but there isn't anyone coming out of it.
I'm going to give them the all clear, but I'm going to keep an eye on the building with my rifle.
Okay. Cookie receiving the all clear lets Blood out of the room. Great. And Blood comes out and he sees the damage caused to the walls and the robots, and he says, "Yet another try on Mr. Blood's life. Foiled. Good job, folks. I much appreciate you being so professional bodyguards. It's incredible. I knew I had the right idea in hiring the Back Atmos Star System Delta Guilds as my personal bodyguards for a mission like this. Any news on the other folks? Is everything okay with them? We got attacked. Did they happen? Did they get attacked? Are they okay?"
Honestly, we do not yet know. We hope for the best for them. I trust in Stealth Officer Slippy and Technical Officer BBW's capabilities, but for the moment we have no word from them. Smoke is still rising from the adjacent building, but I assume that they are fully capable of taking care of themselves.
Your walkie-talkie
Out of sight,
goes
out
off.
of mind. Just assume they're dead and move on.
Actually, I guess I try my walkie-talkie. Slippy tries his walkie-talkie. He tries to call.
This is what they
Cookie
told
right
me
now
in combat training.
Cookie also is going to try the walkie-talkie, so hopefully we'll get in contact.
It'll be funny if we both try at the same time, because then neither of us will be able to hear.
Slippy, come in, Slippy.
Cookie does not have a walkie-talkie. I hate to reinform. It is steel taped to the bottom of a casino table.
Oh my god, we didn't retrieve it.
In the Grand Casino.
Wait. Hold on.
You can borrow mine.
Let me make my case. So, we were given a box that had all the evidence from the shooting at the casino. they would have looked underneath the table and given us the walkie-talkie that was taped underneath the table, which we would have then given back to Cookie.
I very much actually agree with Slippy's case. That I mean, you guys did retrieve all of the evidence. So they probably would have included it in the box and said something along the lines of, "We found surveillance gear." And I like that. I like that. That feels like a fun, like, in canon way of having gotten it back without just retconning that Cookie picked it up.
I mean, my fucking pen-shaped banner is in my inventory. It's not going anywhere. That was recovered after the party, so
also in the evidence box, the pen-shaped banner. Okay, yeah, okay. So then you do have your walkie-talkies, and as you try to call each other, they do work. So I'll give the floor back to Cookie, who was trying to call Slippy.
Hello, Cookie. This is Slippy. Over. I mean, this is Mr. Blood. Over.
Hello, Mr. Blippy. What's the situation? Over.
Well, some robots came, and we killed one of them, and the other one blew up. Well, actually, we didn't kill one of them. One of them fell to the ground, but it fell 100 floors, probably, so it's probably dead.
It was amazing.
What a coincidence. We also had robots.
Did one of them blow up catastrophically?
We killed 3 of them. I think we killed 3 of them. There were 3, and they're all dead. So we're all clear here. Hope you're okay.
There were 3 that we saw, and all that we saw are dead.
We saw
Never
3
say
of
they're
them,
all
and 3 of them
dead.
are dead. So
That's a false sense of security.
we are assuming that we're good. Could be wrong, but
Great.
for now, we're all good. Blood's all good. Yeah, we have some dead robots. So whenever you can bring BBW back over here, we have some dead robots that can be inspected.
Yeah, we'll inspect our robots over here and then head over.
Oh.
Can you send a doctor over? Because the security over here sucks and they still haven't shown up. Maybe with a helicopter or something. Tell Mr. Blood it's for Carissa. He'll pay for it.
We'll ask Mr. Blood and maybe the bellhops. We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
Okay, over and out.
By the end of this conversation, the elevator, it dings for you, Slippy and BBW. It like dings and fades out and comes back in at the end of the ding, but the elevator doors do open up, and inside are 3 big, bulky figures, ranging in types of alien with suits on, and they the first one comes out and says, "Right this way, please. Come right this way, folks. We need to get you out of the building."
Slippy offers Carissa's arm and starts to head that way.
"Oh, thank you." And she limps alongside of you into the elevator. BBW close behind. The elevator takes you folks down, and you are ushered out of the building. There is a black waiting for you, an Uber Black waiting for you. You are sort of surrounded by these folks and like ushered to the car and protected on the way to the car. Inside the car, there is 2 of them, and one in the back seat with you folks. There's like that U-shaped limo seating in the back, and one of them is back there with you, and there's another one in the front seat with the driver. And they assure you as you are getting in the car, they're like, we're just going to defend you as you folks make your way back next door. It's a walk. Like if you're gonna walk it would be like a few city blocks, as there's these are pretty wide buildings.
Right.
Not necessarily where you were, but they usher you into the car, and then the car takes you those few city blocks, and you have a few extra bodyguards as you're taken into the Grand Casino. Some bellhops show up for Carl and Cookie, and all of you get the idea that they are taking you to Blood's safe room. They're here to take you to the safe room.
I recommend that Blood and Carl both head to the safe room. I assume Carl is most prepared to defend Blood bodily. Cookie will stay in the room to sort of regroup with the others when they get back, and or communicate with the bellhops if there is anything else that needs to be communicated.
Yeah, while you're pitching that, the bellhop does inform you that if you'd like, you can join, and they can just bring your crew as they arrive back at the Peacock to the safe room. If you would like to do that, or they can have them come up here when they arrive to meet you.
I'd say bring them back here. Mr. Blood's safety is the most important thing on this mission, so we got to get Mr. Blood to his safe room. Unfortunately, Cookie, Clarissa, everyone else were all sort of expendable. So no need to regroup there. We can regroup at the hotel room if regrouping is necessary.
The Uber Black pulls up to the front of the Peacock, and you're ushered inside. Slippy, Carissa, and BBW. As you approach, I think the three of you immediately get the idea of what has happened. There are several bellhops here, waiting at the elevators, and you know what's happened. There's been an attack here. There were 3 robots that came in and attacked. Mr. Blood has been moved to the safe room with your combat officer, and your Cookie awaits you in the room. You get a weird sense, though, when they say that Cookie awaits you in the room. They say, like, your combat officer is with Mr. Blood. There's, like, a sense you've not gotten when they've talked about someone when they say Cookie awaits you in the room. It's like a sense of... there's, like, a weird honorific feel with the way that they talk about Cookie when they say that. It's in the moment. It's quick, but that is had, and... yes.
Slippy really quick says, "Hey, really quick, Carissa, does this happen often?"
Again, no, usually when we're together, it's significantly less active than this. We go to, like I said, fine events, balls. We go to, charity events. We go to all sorts of things. Mr. Blood's wealth buys passage into many a place. It's just usually never. I not usually, just not ever. This sort of style thing. There's
what do you think? What do you think's changed recently?
the threat on Mr. Blood's life, I would say, is what's changed. They sort of said that they were going to do this. I tried to urge him to do something else with our week together, but alas, he still chose to come here. He says he must attend it in person.
And what about the Pharaoh's Eye? You ever heard anything about the Pharaoh's Eye?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Tombleson.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Is that something to do with Mr. Blood? What
No, that's more of a personal note. On another personal note,
okay.
No, I'll ask later. Go ahead. See you later. Bye.
See you later. Where are we? Okay.
Enjoy the safe room.
Oh, okay. Yes, would you mind taking me down to the safe room to see Mr. Blood? Make sure that he is okay, and some of the bellhops take her into the elevator. It closes behind them, and a few moments later, the elevator doors open, and it's just empty, and you folks step in, and it takes you up to the floor. Carl, as these bellhops did this, are you down with the go with Mr. Blood to the safe room?
Yeah, that sounds good. I do want to unjam my gun and recharge my staff right away.
Sure. I think that tracks you. You know that you'll be able to do that just fine in the safe room. You've got probably like a little handy tool, little tiny little screwdriver kits that have several sizes and they're tiny and pocket size. You probably got something like that this probably happened with your gun. This is something that Shaq has probably taught you about guns in your shooting time. And so the Midnight Bellhops take you to an elevator, and the elevator goes down. It stops at the lobby floor, and then the lights go out. A few buttons are pressed, and 4 light up on the pad, and it goes down what you feel like is another few floors and opens up into a underground suite. There are no windows, but it is immediately like the elevator door opens up into the suite. It's very similar to his other suite, almost like it was designed to look the exact same. And yes, you folks are waiting here just a few moments before the doors open up and Carissa steps out with a Midnight Bellhop. says, "Oh, I'm so happy that you folks are safe." Mr. Blood says, "What happened to you and Mr. Slippy?" And she begins relaying the story of what happened in the tower. Cookie, you're waiting in the room
Explosions.
for your friends to show up, and the door opens,
Then they do.
and in walks a rather terrified Lucy. And she sees you and she says, "Oh, ooh, that was spooky, huh? There was a big bang and then lots of crashing over here, and I kind of just hid. But what's going on?" And she seems to be sort of breathing heavy and having like a little bit of a panic attack.
Well,
Not
first
much
things
is wrong
first,
with you.
let's take a quick sit down. Let's calm down. Let's breathe together a little bit. Let's not panic. The danger has, for you, passed. It did get a little bit spicy down here, but we are professionals, and you can trust that we handle ourselves. So for the moment, the danger has passed. Slippy should be here any minute. So if you want to take a quick sit down on the couch, don't mind the blaster burns. They are in the past. How about some breakfast pizza?
She sits down with the breakfast pizza and begins scarfing it down, and she stops for a moment. She says, Are all adventures this scary?"
Not all adventures are scary like this is, if you understand. Not every adventure involves people shooting at us, but all adventures do involve an amount of risk or danger or heightened stress. You get used to it, I suppose. It's what you sign up for. If you're not ready for it, don't sign up to be a Delta Dawn exploratory committee member. Maybe be a merchant or a cook or something. Well, not a cook, because apparently cooks go on the
Be a
adventures
different
too.
kind of cook.
Don't be a cook. Be something else. I don't know what other than a merchant, but janitor or something. There's
I only
definitely
know 3 jobs.
there's definitely some jobs out there that you could be a part of that aren't just roles in an insect colony, because that's all I know.
Would you like to be in an insect colony?
I'm not going to repeat that. This is a slightly more exciting than average day, but I would say that it doesn't fall outside of our job description quite yet. Enjoy your pizza, though. How's that going?
Oh, it's really good, and she continues to just like smash this pizza as she goes back to eating. The elevator door dings for you folks, and BBW Slippy enter into the floor with Cookie, and as you enter in Mr. Blood Suite, you see the wreckage kind of caused, and Lucy looks up, having calmed down, and says, "Oh, it's good to see. I'm glad you guys are okay. Do you see what Cookie did here?"
Not yet, but whenever I look down, I will, and then I look down.
Yeah, it's
that looks good.
Cookie did a good job protecting us here at the in the hotel while you folks were out having breakfast.
Yeah, can I have some of that pizza?
No, and she eats the last piece.
Oh. Well, that seems to be how my day is going most of the time.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Hey, Cookie.
There's
how's it
other
going?
food there on the table if you want some of the leftover foods.
No, that's okay. That was all I wanted, but that's fine.
Here, Slippy. I saved you a bread roll.
No, I don't want that either. I only wanted the breakfast pizza, but that's okay.
Yes, you folks reconvene in Blood Suite and relay the incidents to one another. is the next play to all reconvene in Blood's suite? Can we reconvene as a group to have the next convo, or is there a convo that the three of you would like to have? Having just
Up to Cookie. Cookie told us to come here.
All right. I think first question first. BBW, do you happen to have like a? It's a stretch, but do you happen to have like a polygraph, like a lie detector, any sort of any sort of biometric scan?
Are you just asking this?
Heartbeat sensor, anything?
Hey, excuse me. Can you tell if I'm lying?
I assume that we would know these things about each other, so I'm mostly asking Dante whether or not this is a thing that you have.
The closest thing is an ability I have called my electromagnetic detection that I use to detect things in a radius, like any machines.
Sounds like a no.
Nearby.
Okay.
So
well, that does sound like a no, as far as it goes. Because here's the thing, and I'm speaking out of character, just sort of Gabe's thoughts. We got hit in both locations at the same time. And that means that someone gave my ingenious plan away. I can vouch for the bellhops. It wasn't them. And I assume that it was none of us, which leaves us...
I'm sorry.
It leaves us two suspects, either Blood himself or Carissa. One of those two betrayed our special genius plot, because not only did the decoy spot get hit, but the actual spot got hit. And only the people in the room knew that there were both of those spots. So one of those two has to be in on the plot. I
agree. Carissa is a scheming, conniving, manipulative, but
were you able to extract any information from her that would suggest that was the case? Were you able to extract any information from her at all?
Not in this scenario. I'm just speaking from past experiences. But
I thought more of you, Slippy.
You shouldn't have. But
it's on you.
I will say that these seem like whoever's after this guy, extremely wealthy. Carissa doesn't strike me as someone who's very wealthy, but
Carissa does strike me as someone who would know more than one extremely wealthy person.
I agree with you. I think that this is probably the closest thing to a lead that we have right now.
It's one of those two. Do we want to?
That being said, if this is somebody who really wants someone gone, it seems like a pretty standard play to go at where they live and then where at. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I felt like I was very convincing in Mr. Blood, but I don't know how everyone else felt.
Well, I mean, you are a frog.
And
Mr. Blood,
at the end of the day, that is sort of my point.
Isn't a frog.
I think we could definitely try and press. Maybe we could separate them for a time.
Just real quick, BBW electromagnetic detection. You do definitely have your command of robots, where you could like make them do something. If they're a robot, could be. It's not like a lie detector, but at least minimum you could force a robot to tell the truth if you're talking to it.
That's what I thought.
Something along those lines. You could also, you could use that command of robots to do a lot of things as long as you're communicating with a piece of machinery. So that could be a camera. Tell me what you've seen. That could be, if you can find working robotics left in these robots that they've, pretty much destroyed in the room, but there could, pieces still work sometimes. You might be able to get some info about where it connects to, or, various things. I am having trouble coming up with exacts of what you could command those pieces to do, but you could investigate into that if you could find those. I don't know
we
about
need to use
human.
that on some robots. I think that maybe that's our next move.
But it's at least a thought, unless Carissa is a robot.
Let's look at the robots that we've killed first.
That
If
sounds
any of
good.
them say like sent by Carissa, then we'll know.
Oh, okay.
Let's just
I do
take
like the
Carissa
idea.
apart, and then if we can't put her back together, then she's not a robot,
The
right?
classic. That's the Salem method, I think.
The vampire method too.
I like this method.
The camera can tell.
Let's tie her up and interrogate the robots. And if the robots don't give us any leads, then we can start deconstructing Carissa.
Wait,
don't know
why don't we just
And
feed
then
her
if
an egg?
Carissa doesn't give us any leads, then Mr. Blood has hired an assassin on himself,
Maybe
which
we
is
should-
possible, but we have no motive.
I would
feed her an egg.
I was about
Either
to say we should
it doesn't
interrogate
work,
Mr.
she's
Blood,
a
but I don't think we
robot.
should interrogate Mr. Blood. That seems rude.
I don't think we should interrogate him yet.
Doesn't
We
she
should eliminate all other possibilities, and I'm sure that if it's with his safety in mind, he won't be too bothered if we dissect his companion.
If Mr.
So-
Blood were to put a hit on himself and probably get just to get rid of us, doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
So Cookie's going to turn to Carissa and say, "Do
Carissa's
you
not
consent
here.
to being restrained?"
Chris is in a different room.
Have you guys met up back in the safe room after that?
I stayed in the regular room. So I'm in the room with BBW, Carissa, and Slippy.
BBW, Slippy, and Lucy. Carissa got told to go down to the safe room by Slippy and BBW in the lobby. So she joined Blood and Carl in the safe room. So this conversation easily had between characters, just like chatting in the room, because Carissa is not here.
Well, that's deeply bad for the mission. Once again, our two suspects are together, and we cannot discern their motives and actions apart from one another.
We could just separate them.
Well, let's interrogate the robots, because we have no other option now.
Yeah,
Get him, BBW.
makes sense to me.
Oh. So what?
Yeah, so
Interface.
Dead robots.
Interface.
yeah, the three of you, BBW, Slippy, Cookie, you're in Mr. Blood's suite up on the top floor of the Peacock. So there are 3 robot bodies, most of which are broken apart in some form or fashion, right? Like one of them is tangled up in a rope and has a smashed in front torso. I think 2 have been just like shot through the torso by one has been stabbed through the torso by Carl, and one has been blasted through the torso by also Carl.
Be stabby. And also shooty. I like to mix things up.
See,
So what do you think you're
with the one that you first stabbed? That one looks potentially the least damaged, at least to BBW.
okay?
You use my commands of robots.
Okay.
I'm going to command this robot. Hear me out. I want to first ask it to wake up and just tell us what happened.
Okay.
I want to know its purpose.
Okay. Give me that command of robots roll.
That's a 9. I can parlay with the robot by offering it data, power, or proper usage. I'll say, robot, I'm gonna need you to wake up, and I'll give you some more ability to walk around. Does that sound like fun? I'm gonna need you to tell us what happened, though.
You command the robot to turn on. Start there. Parts of the robot begin powering up, and I think you get a sense of it's like, as you're connected with the robot. I imagine like via Bluetooth style connection, some sort of direct connection with the robot itself. You can feel pieces of it light up, like come online, but its system is like cycling and trying to get everything on at once, and so different systems come up and then power down and come up and power down, and the whole thing is like trying to come on all at the same time. What were you offering? It sounded like power of those 3 power data, or that's perfect. You're going to
I give it like a battery.
you know that you can power this robot back up, but you're gonna have to provide some of your own power in order to do that. And I think with that, you plug in a cable. You feel energy drain from you. It is -2 health. just like 2 straight off the dome health. As this thing, you feel the system cycle together once finally, and it clicks back on, and the robot is like clunking in place. It's like trying to right itself, but it's unable to move. It seems like whatever was damaged in its chest is like keeping most of its body and limbs from moving particularly well. But it is up and online, at least now. What is the next step?
Neat. Well, welcome alive. Can you tell us why you're in this place at this time? Let's roll again.
You get almost like PNG images sent to you. You get
Airdropping these things in my head.
exactly, yeah, just like I think one image, and that is just an image of Mr. Blood. It like contextually to our world, you know, like whenever we see like a James Bond movie where they're like, I kill this person, and then it's like a weird grayed image with a crosshair on it, right? And it's targeting some random, it's like exactly like that, and there's a zoomed in square at the top portion of that with Mr. Blood's face. It's here to kill Mr. Blood.
That's the only thing. So, ordered by who? Who sent this order of kill?
It tells you through the ones and zeros. I imagine that it doesn't have like a vocal box. It doesn't have like a speech box, so it's not speaking out loud. But I imagine that this is very similar to the way that the Midnight Bellhops sort of, you know, interact when we're talking about just like 2 robots silently interacting. That it was literally made for this purpose. It was created to kill Mr. Blood. It doesn't have many system files before this time it was created. That's what it was made for. It even sends you an image. It's that same kind of gray, grainy background, and there's like a shadowy figure. It like doesn't even have a concept of like who this person is that made it. Its purpose, it tells you, is to kill Mr. Blood, or to kill this target. That image that it sent you.
Has it ever been to a birthday party? I'm gonna ask it that. And would it like to?
You get a sense of curiosity from the robot. It doesn't. Birthday party?
Well, like send some files back in to its like whatever it might it has. Send in some images of spreads of food and like people dancing, random stuff like that. It's all like a party.
It seems very intrigued. It seems like, yes, it would love a birthday party thrown for it, or at least some form of celebration thrown for it. 100%.
It sounds like this robot's on board.
On board with what?
It requests a party hat from you.
I'm gonna strap it onto its head.
When you strap the party hat onto this robot's head, you get a sense one, and it is like one rapid fire after another, like 2 emails almost. One, thank you, like appreciation. It feels appreciated for a brief moment, and then you get a data point. The 2 pods came from a large ship in orbit around the planet. And that's as it sends you that, and you like get that image in your head, and you're able to like, you know, see it. And I think for you, when you see that kind of stuff, you just have it in your data files, but it starts to like flicker, cut out, and you see the system cycling in this robot begin to become asymmetric again, and parts of it, like one of the arms, kind of jolts out to the side and vibrates a little bit, and then the whole thing just sort of shuts down piece by piece. You try to make some, like the connection you made with it, even though it was powered down and it had been stabbed, you try to make that basic connection again, even for just like a power back on command, and it is totally like dead. All the pieces are kind of fried.
Birthday, date.
Rest easy and party hard. Well, I found out a couple things at least. It looks like this robot was specifically made to just kill Mr. Blood.
That's not good.
No, I didn't say anything about Carissa though. But the whole thing, there appears to be some sort of thing outside the planet. That's where it came from.
Well, that's definitely something that we can ask Mr. Blood about whenever we interrogate him.
Sounds exciting. I'm gonna take my party hat back.
How long until the horse race?
I mean, it is starting in like a few hours.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's not like very far out before Mr. Blood should wanting to be heading to the horse races.
actually, let's, in case there's anything here. I mean, Carissa gets off the elevator and they, you know, they have that short conversation. I'm glad you're okay. That must be awful. And Mr. Blood asks, when are we be meeting up with the rest of our crew?
When we're ready.
Okay. He looks at a clock on the wall. And he says, the races are starting in a couple hours here. We gotta get moving. We want to have some pre-race snacks there in the blood box. This is the whole reason I'm here. If I could have just missed it and listened to the results of the race, then I would have never come after a threat on my life. But this sort of I gotta see it with my own eyes. I got lots of money riding on this race.
Okay. So let's get you to the race, I guess.
Are we meeting up with the rest of your crew? We heading there right now.
Yeah. Let's take the whole crew and let's head to the race.
Perfect. I like that a lot. Cookie, Slippy, BBW. Do you folks, after that conversation, the robot shuts down? Are you three heading to the safe room?
So I think we.
Slippy looks over at Lucy and Slippy goes, "Hey Lucy, you good? You good?"
Yeah, I feel much better after that pizza. I feel refreshed and invigorated.
Yeah, that's
fortified
great.
if I had to choose a word.
I love that for you. We gotta go down to talk to Mr. Blood. But I'll come back up before we leave for the horse races.
Hey, so things got pretty wiry here. Maybe I just sort of come with you guys this time? Because what if they come back while you guys are gone? I'll be all alone up here.
They're not after you, Lucy. They're after Mr. Blood. And Mr. Blood's gonna be with us. So that's where the danger is gonna be.
But didn't they attack you guys at the other building and Mr. Blood was here?
I was Mr. Blood then.
How do I know that they won't come back for his stuff while he's gone?
They didn't have any pictures of his stuff on their hard drive. Just him.
Okay.
I can do a parlay.
I like that, yeah.
9 plus 2, 11.
I mean, if you're sure,
do what I want if I promise.
If you're sure that they're not gonna come here while he's gone.
Lucy, I promise.
Okay. And she returns to Slippy's room. And the three of you head down to the safe room.
We want to look at the rest of the robots, or?
Yeah, I want to talk to the Midnight Butlers for a second. So we do have at least two things that I can talk to the Midnight Butlers about. First, I would like one of them to escort Lucy back to our bodyguard apartments and guard her as if she was me. I think that should do the job as far as Lucy's safety is concerned. I also would like to ask them if we have the location, like where the robots came from, the ship in orbit, if they were able to pull any details about that ship. I assume they'd have to give some sort of like planetary docking details to some sort of agency that the Midnight Butlers might be able to access, since they seem to be pretty ubiquitous and trustworthy among this planet. So if we can get any information on that ship, that would be good. And then I guess the next thing I want to ask for, I'd have to ask Mr. Blood for. So those are the two things that I want to ask the butlers about. And then at least Cookie's good to go down to the bolt hole to chat with Mr. Blood and ask for his debit card.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, debit card. We'll get there, I guess. Carl, Mr. Blood's ready to go when you folks head to the elevator. And the elevator starts taking you folks up. You get out in the lobby and begin crossing the lobby to head there. There's a few midnight bellhops with you. They've changed clothes out of the bellhop attire and into a little bit more street clothes. It's still kind of fancy, and you get the sense that they're here to help with be an extra few hands with bodyguard.
and that whenever, one of them stops off and tells you, more or less that they will go tell the rest of your crew that you folks are getting an Uber Black and heading towards the stadium. Cookie, it is not long before a bellhop comes up the elevator with a file in hand. Actually, they don't use files. Fuck that. They just give you the information you need, right? One bellhop did depart with Lucy and entered into Slippy's room with her and closed the door behind. You get a sense that it will protect her with as much life as it has. A little bit of a joke there, as it doesn't feel like it's living, but gives you a thumbs up anyway as it closes the door. And another one comes up the elevator and gives you the information. I suppose that like BBW printed out those, those all the bits of information necessary for them to scan and get the right information. They tell you that information is coming from a ship in orbit. The ship in question has been approved by the planet for, docking procedures, as it is Mr. Blood's ship itself. And we fade to black as it tells Cookie that is the information you requested. And then you get an image into your mind of Carl, Mr. Blood, and Carissa walking out the door.
We all three look into the camera and we go, "What?"
Next time we'll do the horse race.
I hate it here.
Mostly, it feels like the pinnacle of the what we're pushing for here. So
I get the sinking suspicion that we're not going to get paid. What's your questions? I forget them already.
Oh fuck yeah! Let's do end of session questions.
POD.
First,
I know that I'm getting my alignment XP.
This time, I think I'll get enough to level up.
Okay, well, let's start with alignment, since that's where Lawrence is at. What you got for alignment?
I passed as Mr. Blood, so I avoided detection, which is one of the two options for neutral.
Okay, I'll give it to you. You.
Hell yeah! The first time I've gotten it.
I'll give it to you. Why not? Did anyone else get an alignment?
I defended Mr. Blood. Defend those weaker than you.
I don't know if
I also defended Cookie, but I don't know that I'd specify that Cookie's weaker than me. But Mr. Blood's definitely weaker than me.
In combat,
I would specify that Cookie's weaker than you. I also sort of have a sort of nebulous.
You're a hive mind, so
feed those in need. I'm a hive mind of 2.
Got more than 2, I think.
So feed those in need. Was Mr. Blood in need? Mm-hmm. That's sort of the question as to whether or not I get experience.
These are both ethereal, and BBW's is use your machines to help someone with no, hope of reward or whatever. And I would actually say that all three of you basically ethereally got it. BBW got he helped that robot feel a sense of, appreciation, and that it did not tell you it was giving you more information for you, giving in that kindness as it was dying. And I feel like that was a kind moment. So everyone gets 1 experience for their alignment right there. Because I agree with, Cookie is feed those in need. He needed breakfast, and so he got breakfast. Oh, and you fed Lucy. I would say, moreover, that would at least trigger. You gave, you helped her calm down with your food.
Yeah, Lucy needed to eat that last piece of pizza in front of Slippy.
Yeah, she needed to,
Roasted Slippy. And then Carl's the same way, as defend those weaker than you. You did it. You defended Mr. Blood, and that is the job anyway. So that's good. That's good. As far as questions go, we've got. Did you guys get a treasure? No.
I saved you a bread roll. I saved you a bread roll.
You did save some bread rolls. I don't think so. I don't think anyone got a treasure. Unless you really treasure those bread rolls. That's totally up to you, but then we have to really make that about your character.
RP that forever.
I need
now.
a bond. I need a bond talking about your bread rolls.
I need more bread rolls.
Yeah, anyway. So no special bits. Let's see, I'm just getting there. End of session. Did we learn something new or important about the world?
Yes, Mr. Blood's trying to kill himself.
Yeah, so Mr. Blood's probably doing that.
Okay.
That'd be evil.
Yes, I mean there was a lot of moments that are like a good twist in the episode that you guys were like bom bom bom. So why not? That feels like a bunch of learning stuff that's important about the world. Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right, not yet. Okay, so 2 experience for everyone from that moment. So that's 3 total for everyone for this end of session time that we've been here. And
Good
then
Lord.
let's talk about bonds. Did anyone do bonds?
No.
I did just like when at the beginning of the session, I said Slippy saved me once. I would like try to save him now. Did I end up saving you from the robot?
Ooh, okay, okay. How do you feel about that? That's I mean, you guys were in that situation. Do you think that BBW feels that he saved Slippy in that situation? Does BBW feel more secure in that? That is, I think, a question for you.
I would say it's not quite significant enough. No, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, you guys work together equally, it feels like, in that, and then in the end, the robot kind of just self-destructed. So I can agree with that.
I hated that.
Yeah, hated that, definitely. Carl or Cookie?
No.
No bonds. And did I already ask you, Lawrence, if you had any bonds?
No, I'm sure I'll get at least one of them by the end of this.
Okay. Great. I know that one of Carl's is just like get through this safely with Slippy, and then it'll be good.
Yeah, one of my only one that I can get is I need to find out if Carissa and I are on or off again.
Oh, when did that bond come up?
That I solved my last one with BBW, and so that's the most recent one that I've added because the other 2 don't have people on this planet. So
Yeah, no, I I like that, and it's not really one that could have come up like and made sense until Carissa showed up. So no, I love that. That's some good stuff. That's some good bondage. Anyway, yes, zoom.
The potential of bondage.
Yes. All right.
The cringe close up.